732 Review Crew back today. I'm Mikey.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Mike.
And we are here today with...
Oh, Fringe, yeah.
Yeah, episode 3 of season 1. I'm just looking at you.
I thought you were just going for it.
Yeah. As of last episode, we're kind of developing the characters out a little bit. We're learning a little bit more about how this show really is, because it's pretty horrifying randomly in just scenes where the eyeballs coming out, as well as other things.
Yeah,
but it's also pretty cool.
That's
Peter's a clone, his dad is crazy, and Agent Dunham is on the case.
So let's see what's happening. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1.
St. Anne's Cathedral?
They really like that font.
I don't know where that one is. Get out, GeoGuessr.
We played too much of that. That'd probably be a good podcast game.
It's been 3 months.
Oh, vampire?
Go on, my son. Do you believe that God can speak to you, Father?
Of course I do. The Lord speaks to all those who are willing to listen.
What about the devil, then? I see things.
Boyle?
I see things. I don't know why he chose me, but it's happening again.
In the tunnel?
Where's the place for it to happen?
That is probably the most alarming thing anyone can see on a bus.
Yeah. People should... Oh, man.
Kick out the emergency windows. He's doing all of that for her bag?
He's got a pickup?
I feel like there was a more, innocuous way to get that back.
That's a crazy drawing.
Couldn't it just use knockout gas?
Oh, God.
Oh, no, it's not the melt people stuff again, is it?
No, they're frozen?
What? See,
we have teleportation, nanotech, cybernetics.
AI. Dark matter. Telekinesis, track magnification, handprint.
Handprint.
People have hands?
Not you. Don't look down.
Hand diff.
I got nothing.
I don't know.
So I knew you were doing it. I knew you were doing it.
And they're going forth from us.
Who's evil? Boo.
Was he?
Yeah, he killed somebody. Other than
what if it was for the greater good?
For the greater good.
For the greater good.
For the greater good.
I don't think he was an innocent man that was smuggled, if I remember correctly.
I love Amazing Grace on bagpipes.
I love bagpipes, dude.
That sound will always give me goosebumps.
Her eyes are so piercing.
The man betrays his country, turning over state secrets to God knows who, and here we are pretending he's a hero.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he told me he loved me.
I wasn't going to tell you this, but he said he loved me too. Agent Dunham. Agent
The
Francis.
swagger. Look at his walk. The boss.
I need you to come with me.
I like him. I really hope he doesn't end up being evil. I'm so scared of it happening.
I feel like he's gonna die.
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna die.
Like before the end of the season.
I hope it's a glorious way to go.
What's he putting in his sugar?
Brought your own sweetener?
Don't be ridiculous. It's my medication.
You're not on any medication, Walter.
I'm making it myself in the lab.
Oh, I wish you were joking.
Simple combination of dextromethorphan, clonazepam, and some fluoxetine.
Those are psychotics, Walter. All of them.
Psychotics or antipsychotics?
Well, then after that, I have them written down. Open.
Hey, what are you doing? I thought I didn't see you all day.
Ooh.
If you tell anybody else that I'm here, you're the first one of the bunch I'm gonna come after.
What?
It's a shady past.
There's something important. Oh. I've decided on the pancakes. Blueberry.
That's great, Walter. Did somebody call me on the phone?
Oh, that's what was important. Something about a bus.
They called in the CDC, confirmed the attack isn't biological in nature. There's no contagion.
It's horrible. They're like mosquitoes trapped in amber.
Whoever did this wanted attention. I mean, look at that.
Or it's not an attack at all, and it's something else entirely.
Meaning what?
If I knew that, you wouldn't be here.
I imagine that the material was released in gaseous form before solidification.
Are they dead?
Well, Mikey, if you were suspended in amber, do you think you would be alive?
I don't know.
I thought you were the medical guy.
I thought that was. I thought they were frozen.
Cryogenics didn't work, Mikey.
What language is that?
Not Italian, but close.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Portuguese? Latin based, right?
Yeah, if I stared at spreadsheets all day, I'd also see stuff.
But why can he see them?
This is the next member of our group, guys.
No.
What is that?
Really messed up drawing that I did.
I don't know.
Why does he just have, like, art supplies?
This happened to him before, he said.
So, he just
So maybe the best thing to get it out of his head is to draw it.
I'm sure the young lady down there would get us a piano.
That young lady is an FBI agent, Walter. Her name is Astrid, and this is the 100th time you have forgotten her name, so no.
I don't think I can get you a piano. You always resisted your lessons, too. Lack of commitment, son.
I suppose I should have followed in your footsteps, because your work has obviously brought such joy to the world.
Whew.
Who was he, Peter?
Sorry?
The man in the restaurant.
What?
It was nothing. He was harassing the waitress. I just told him to cut it out.
Oh, I see.
He does not believe that.
Excuse me. Can you please extract this camera?
Oh.
What is it?
That backpack. I just saw that woman. That backpack wasn't there. Evelina Mendoza. She's a federal employee.
Oh.
What's her job?
Drug enforcement.
Oh my God, she's DEA.
3 months ago, she was tasked to infiltrate the East Coast representatives of a Nicaraguan drug cartel. She heard members of the cartel discussing something about the pattern.
What?
I've been asked to officially ID her body. I suppose that won't be a problem.
I suspect him.
I didn't realize how hard this was gonna be.
You don't have to explain. I know what it's like to lose someone you've worked with closely.
I wonder if they had a relationship.
Does she have a chip on her? You gonna take the chip? They might have been close. They were roommates.
Music helps him process. It worked, too. As soon as Peter started playing, Walter just kind of locked in.
Gas that was released on the bus turned solid when it met the nitrogen in the atmosphere, instantly immobilizing and suffocating the passenger.
Massive dynamic.
3 chemical companies in the U.S. supply those compounds, all of them wholly owned subsidiaries of Massive Dynamic.
Charlie, what's up?
We got something. I think you're gonna want to see it.
Oh no, this is crazy guy who can predict them all.
Accidents, disasters we've seen over the last year. And look, all of them are dated before the incidents took place.
All right, maybe he does join? This poor guy. How is he ever supposed to, like, have a normal life?
Several of those incidents have never been made public. And based on the evidence, every one of them was either drawn or constructed before the event depicted.
We supply them to a dozen labs around the world. It could have been stolen from any one of them.
I'll need a list of those labs then.
Of course. Anything you need.
When we first met, you said that science and technology had advanced to such a state that, your words, they were running out of control. Well, so far, all of the science and technology that I've come across has been very tightly controlled by Massive Dynamic.
Well, I think maybe you have it backwards. Massive Dynamic is, well, so massive that just about everything in the world of science and technology has a tie back to us. You've been investigating these cases for a very short while now. At least 3 of them have occurred right in your own backyard. I might suspect that you yourself were somehow responsible.
Yo. Such a corporate response. Love it.
She didn't get an office like that by being bad at her job.
And the only way that I can get it out, get rid of it, is to try to
yeah, there you go.
Draw what I see.
How long have you been getting these feelings?
9 months.
All other things being equal, the simplest solution is the best.
What is that?
The man's psychic.
I love him.
I posit that Roy has no control over his abilities, that he is linked psychically with someone, or less likely but still possible, a small group of people responsible for these events.
What?
I like to think I have an open mind, but I have a hard time accepting that that man is hearing another person's thoughts.
Which is why I would like to prove it. And here we go.
And how would you do that?
Am I required to keep him alive?
That would probably be best.
So chaotic.
Nina Sharp just told me that this isn't the first time that material from the bus has been used. I don't even have clearance to know background on a case I'm investigating.
Lady Dunham, if I'm not always completely transparent with you, there's a reason.
With all due respect, that's not good enough.
Yeah, straight up.
If I'm gonna do this job, I need to know what it is I'm dealing with.
And you will, when you're ready.
What's this ready that everyone keeps talking about?
Guys, I'm at work.
Oh.
Does he have iron? High iron?
He's full of metal.
What's happening?
No idea. I'm extremely interested to find out.
No, no, oh my God. Pull him out. That looks so painful.
I think so. What did that?
Something in the blood. Magnetic compound of some kind.
He's got nanobots.
Parasite. Bailey and I worked on this very problem.
Belly?
Yeah, as in William Bell.
Belly.
Founder of Massive Dynamic and one of the richest men on the planet.
We hypothesized that these waves could be used to communicate information. And they called it the Ghost Network. But they asked us to take it one step further, to develop a method where they could transmit directly from one person to another.
You've got to be kidding me. Roy McComb was one of your test subjects.
What I gave him was not nearly enough to cause that reaction. The compound must have multiplied in his bloodstream.
Did you ever even bother to explain to him what you were doing?
Well, it wouldn't have been a very secret experiment if I had.
What?
The iridium-based compound that multiplied in his bloodstream has turned him into some kind of receiver.
What?
A receiver of
Can't
what?
you just get dialysis?
That's an oldie but a goodie.
It's a duck.
As you observe
Rabbit.
this image, your brain perceives first a duck, then a rabbit, then a duck again. It always comes back to the duck. Hold,
Great.
despite...
Thank you. We get it.
I'm sorry, I don't think I do get it.
Well, neither do I. I just want him to stop.
I'll get the...
Roy's brain is trying to interpret the sensory input, much as our brains grapple with the duck-rabbit. I told you, it always comes back to the duck.
Duck.
It may be possible to redirect the transmissions from his visual centers to his auditory cortex.
Wait, you want to rewire his brain?
It would be a minor surgery.
Minor brain surgery. Emphasis not on the mind.
His little twitch of
I have a
happiness
specific
when he
piece of
thought about
equipment,
it.
A magnetic neurostimulator I built in 1983.
Go back in time and get it for you.
No need to.
It was in my car.
Most likely where I left it 17 years ago.
In my other car.
Hidden in a wall in our old house in Cambridge.
Secret caches!
Hi, FBI, I need to just... Yeah! Thank you, bye.
It's a cool
What's the game
house.
plan here? We're just gonna
It's in
knock on the
Cambridge,
door,
baby.
ask them if we can tear out their walls?
Pretty much.
He ain't asking for consent.
What? It's barely even a crime. I used to live here.
It's a crime.
It's got to be sort of a relief, right? Knowing there's a rational explanation.
I wouldn't exactly call any of this rational.
I like him.
Nothing. Of course.
Unless.
Maybe put the grate back on the...
This is what scares me about old houses.
You'll need to be awake.
Bellhop?
Procedure.
There's gonna be hidden stuff all over. I've seen some weird stuff.
He used to be awake?
You look really familiar to me.
You ever watched Lord of the Rings? Oh, that doesn't look good.
I think it's time for some intracranial penetration.
What?
Is this Poli-Sci 101?
Not remotely.
Who was it?
Freshman.
I like how they cut the tension with that.
Oh, he said this wouldn't even hurt.
He's not hurting.
There's black blood going down his face.
You may also experience an involuntary bowel movement.
Girls.
I'm tasting dirt. Oh, no, wait, it's gasoline. I don't know. The beach. Cuando fiet.
What did you say?
I don't know. I can hear voices.
Yes, he just said,
It is Latin.
damn, what's that word? Hora, hour. Something's happening in an hour.
Thanks.
It's the church.
Vatican's one of the other 10.
On her person, it was on her person.
Oh, the agent.
The chip. I told you, just pull a chip out of her.
Maybe, or
She had it on her the whole time.
Her body's gone.
No, her hands are ripped open.
The chip was inside of her?
That's why he went like this on her wrist. Yikes, bro. You couldn't have like got that on one swing. Oh. Yikes, how'd that get there?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, I know it was inserted, but
What's wrong?
I believe with proper demodulation, you could receive satellite television for free.
I love him. He's so much fun.
He must feel so useful right now. That must be such a relief after what he's been through in the last 9 months.
Oh no, she got intercepted by people.
Turn around and put your hands in the air now.
No, it's not him. It is? Silencer?
Sniper shot?
There was no noise.
That's why.
could just be a spring-loaded little
Silencer.
That's not how silencers
Yeah, it's okay. It's TV.
You're gonna say that watching this show. You're gonna take the stance on silencers.
That's not a fringe science, okay?
The people in the beginning were literally turned into, they were just encased in goo.
Fringe science.
The fringe silencer.
Put the case on the ground.
Thank you. Okay.
What the fuck? That was crazy.
Dude, that's a really nice wood in that elevator. What's on the disc?
Kind of looks like a candy that I'd eat.
We ID'd the shooter, Matthew Ziegler. When we ran his fingerprints, he popped up on 2 other pattern-related cases. Not only can we now put a face to these people, but we know they're communicating. Of all the models in Roy's apartment, 3 of them are incidents that we hadn't been aware of.
Oh, new ones.
Cases. It would seem so. Take a look, if you want.
Ominous music.
I'm sure you can understand why I don't really go through channels.
What's her face?
It's Nina. Uh-oh.
Seems a bit early to be poaching my newest hire with only a 3-case resume under her belt.
I didn't achieve my position without the ability to evaluate someone's talents immediately.
Woo!
Neither did I.
We found another one.
Other one.
Let's see what we have. This may just be what we need to break the encryption.
Speaking of which, I'm told you've made progress.
We finally stabilized the link. We've been pulling information from the disk for the last 72 hours.
Oh. Wow, okay.
What's going on?
John Scott, he's the agent.
No, I know that.
They're turning him into something.
No, they're pulling data out of him.
They're downloading him.
Not making him like a robot, I'm saying, but they're like make him into like a basically a saved file. They're basically, like you said, they're downloading him onto a hard drive so that way they've all his thoughts and memories and stuff.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know what it's downloading. It's encrypted.
That's right. So they need the key for the encryption. Interesting. What is
The disks seem to be what either you can only read the disk with what's in somebody's head, or that is the encryption key to the information that you're downloading. I don't know.
The encryption key makes the most sense.
That's what I'm thinking, but they didn't have the proper disk. Yeah, I guess they didn't have one fully intact, so they couldn't do this.
And
but
that would explain what she was getting away from the drug cartel.
Nicaraguan.
But why would a drug cartel get involved in the pattern?
Okay, first of all, they get involved in anything because they were on the shady side of everything. So whether they were just facilitating material transfer and learned about it, or that's actually a thing right now. There's we're not getting into that. Point is, they're in the underworld. They are going to be tasked to move products around that cannot go through official channels. Hence, they will become aware of things that are not known to the general public.
Fair. Fair.
Goddamn CIA.
So crazy episode. So we learn about the guy named Roy, and they injected his blood. They being Walter injected him back while he was in college with like basically an
iridium
organometallic compound, which kind of was allowing him
turned him into a satellite dish.
They tried to make the Ghost Network, which was like secret communication network.
My God, you could get free satellite television.
That was so funny, buddy. Yo, I honestly say before we talk more about that thing.
Honestly,
his lines are the best. His lines are the best. Could you imagine if you just sat there all day and got free TV?
Well, because he's not thinking like he doesn't have like the check on where his mind's going.
I hope it could update to like Netflix or something, because he'd be screwed now if he kept
Dish TV, baby.
So speaking of, it's crazy how the organometallic compound reproduced or like duplicated in his face enough to allow him to pick up basically the signals of a different group talking.
It
perfected
it like multiplied in his body. We only saw it in his face because a magnet was trying to pull it out.
So which was honestly crazy because
why didn't they just give this man dialysis?
I don't know if that's
because
possible.
They obviously needed to use it.
He can never go into an MRI.
Well, we just saw what happens when that's one of my nightmares when I was in the hospital. Like I learned MRI for a little bit, and that was one of my nightmares that I always had was like,
what if someone had been injecting iron into my blood? It's gonna come flying out.
No, more like like an incident like that, because like technically one of two things happen when an MRI machine pulls metal. It either superheats, so that guy was getting really fucking hot because the metal was being pulled while heating up, or it gets ripped out. So like that was really freaky, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree. That looked extremely uncomfortable, but
and the fucking Walter was like, "Oh, let's see what happens." No, dude, pull him out.
I liked him though, but also he was an unwilling guinea pig, which makes me feel like a lot of this stuff is going to be unwilling.
He signed the consent.
I told you, Walter's gonna be
afterwards.
No, in the 80s for his psych study.
Yeah, did he?
Like $100.
Well, no, he literally.
There is absolutely no overreach by the U.S. government.
He had no idea.
What do you mean, dude?
Which is crazy because the experiment is so invasive and so crazy, and like I said, we found out Walter is involved with half of the problems. He's all
of them.
He's like the founding
Every problem.
And he has some unethical research because it was a secret fucking experiment, so of course he doesn't know. And I want you to. I love how there's a whole moment before the surgery. He's like, "You look familiar." He's like, I hear that a lot.
Dude, and then he was like in the mental institution. I was like,
oh my God.
He totally could have heard you. What the fuck?
It didn't explain why the blood that came out of his head was black. So if somebody understands why I don't.
It's not oxygenated.
It's
blood.
not as oxygenated because you need less oxygen for the blood.
Yeah, why you need
I've bled from my head before. It is red. Came out red. Wasn't black.
Here and here and here?
Literally right here.
Okay, but like how did that wound get made? Because was it with a drill bit?
No.
Then how do you know that?
Can someone who knows medical things please comment? Because he doesn't.
You got him.
He takes X-rays. Blood isn't his thing.
What do you mean? X-ray techs do surgery.
You never.
You don't do surgery.
It's part of my training.
Can it also be
do surgeries?
Can it also be dehydration?
No,
I don't do the surgery.
We take the X-ray. I've been pulled over to the table to wash by the doctor.
Can it just be dehydration? He asked for a glass of water. I know when I go to the phlebotomist for fucking physicals, my blood comes out like near black.
Well, usually black is because of less oxygen in the blood. Maybe yours is like half nicotine or something.
Again, we need to stop. None of us know what we're talking about.
What do you mean?
So stop.
Just
stop.
Top analysts.
What's next?
So Walter is self-medicating, which is funny because he was not on medicine for 17 years.
Did you Google this yet?
No, I'll look it up right now.
He said psychotics. But psychotics is just a term for things that mess with the chemicals.
He's antipsychotics. He's taking clonazepam, which is a very common one, honestly.
Well, no, he said
fluoxetine, whatever. I've taken that.
Clonazepam is
antidepressant.
Clonazepam's Klonopin.
That's what I figured.
It's a seizure, panic disorder, and anxiety.
I don't think you should be taking all three of them. But
not.
He's the doctor, and I'm not.
Fluoxetine is
I kind of hate that he's taking like antipsychotics.
Fluoxetine's Prozac.
Yeah.
So he's taking Prozac,
Klonopin.
What was the other one?
Dexedrine.
Did you say Dexedrine?
Well, that's the medicine. Is probably.
I thought it was dexamethasone.
Well, that's like the science name. Not a doctor.
He's just trying to level out.
I
still love the last episode. He's like, "Well, do you have cocaine?" And he's like, "No, I don't have cocaine." He's like, "Oh,
be real cool if you did."
Well, I guess you're gonna have to jumpstart her heart with a magnet.
Electricity, not a magnet.
He had it on a fucking. All right, listen. If they had wrapped that copper further
a metal
around
conduit.
the metal,
That's what he needed.
it was almost a magnet. It was a metal ring with electricity going to it. If he had just kept wrapping the copper, it would have been a magnet.
It's a YouTube series.
I have no words.
Dextromorphan. Dextromethaorphan.
Sugar morphine. Got it.
I'm curious.
I don't know enough about the medical sciences to understand what's even real and fake in this show. So
Robitussin.
Wait, is it the DXM that's in Robitussin that makes you robo-trip? If it's DXM, okay, that makes sense. If it's Robitussin, that's weird.
I feel like we could remedy this by because someone's probably going to tell us what they all are in the comments instead of us doing this now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's DXM and what makes you trip on Robotussie.
Robotussie?
Yeah, you never called that?
I don't know.
I hate this conversation.
All right, we're gonna bring it back in. So one thing I also thought that was interesting in this episode is we learned that music helps Walter kind of focus himself in certain situations.
Which is real science.
But it also makes me wonder if he has some form of dementia or Alzheimer's in the sense or some sort of cognitive disease.
Makes you wonder about that?
Well, not like dementia, actually, like the disease where his brain is atrophied. And the music kind of brings him back because it makes him remember his time as a scientist, therefore allowing him to remember his experiments.
I mean, he thought his dog that died 20 years ago was still alive, so there's some stuff going on up there.
I'm convinced he's a time traveler.
Part of what he talks about...
Like Dr. Who?
You think it's
I don't think time travel is really going to play.
Maybe he's a time lord, dude.
That's why he doesn't understand things are going on because he just kind of keeps leaping, so he's like kind of disoriented.
No, I think the man just spent 17 years in a mental institution.
That makes the most sense.
In a padded room,
if I spent 2 years in a padded room, I'd be that incoherent.
Yeah,
can we talk about how insane it is also to be kind of englassed in silicone like that?
Let me tell you something.
I wouldn't know the experience.
Let me tell you something.
I would die immediately.
I
everybody else.
Don't mind a lot of gross things. I very much mind getting silicone on my skin. Like if I have to do a gasket, I get so grossed out with the material. It's the one thing I'll wear gloves for.
What about if you want in your lungs?
Awful. It's one of those sensations I cannot deal with.
That's
because it doesn't come off.
That's crazy. Also, one thing interestingly enough is pattern's only been going on for about 9 months.
Yes.
Which means they've probably been going on maybe they've been in
a lot of catastrophes in the past 9 months.
If
that's
when Walter was involved, he has to be time traveling to do it, which I don't think is possible.
I think Walter set something in motion, and exactly what Nina said in the first episode, that science has gotten to the point where it's taking over. It got to that point 9 months ago.
I got my tinfoil hat on.
They made an AI.
Bell, Mr. Bell, 9 months ago had an experiment go wrong and died in the experiment.
I don't think he's alive. I don't think
his experiment released this, and Nina Sharp is in charge of dynamics with him kind of being like puppet right now.
I think he's just locked somewhere with a bunch of tubes tied up to him, and that's gonna be a big reveal at some point. I don't think he's real.
I think they
anymore.
That, or maybe they downloaded his consciousness into a computer system, like we saw they're trying to do right now.
Well, it seems like the technology that they have isn't there yet.
My problem
they're
right
trying
now,
to download data out of that guy's brain, and they're just kind of
My problem right now is they keep calling it the pattern, but we're not seeing. And obviously, because we don't know the bigger pieces of the puzzle, which is why our main character also does not know the bigger pieces of the puzzle. But we're 3 episodes in now, and these are all random things that are happening that just happen to be a super fringe science related, and it's none of them. There's we don't have a bad guy. We don't have an idea of where this is going. Is it being orchestrated by one person? Because we're getting the vibe that it is, but these do not connect yet.
I think we're getting. I think it's definitely being orchestrated by someone or something.
That's being hinted at 100%.
And I feel like it's going to take us a while to even get to the point where we have an idea. Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of understanding more of fringe science and what it can do before who's causing it.
I think just like Olivia, we're not ready to know about it yet. Kind of.
But
because we don't know enough to be wow, that's crazy,
But the only person that we could have pegged as a villain was Massive Dynamic, and then we saw him give the coin to Nina.
Maybe there's no clear good or bad guys.
Well, I think that also had to do with, so he didn't seem like a bad, he's like, I still care about my agents, like I don't want them to get hurt at all.
Why'd he give her the chip?
Because I think they're the only ones with the technology to figure out what it is.
It's fair, because that's what they said. They said the NSA, but they probably have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a piece of candy, but apparently it data encrypts people's brains. Like it's insane.
Fair. I think it's interesting that she's not told everything too still, even though she's kind of involved in these cases. There's cases that could help her so much to learn about, and she has to dig for them instead of being given the dossiers on stuff. And then eventually, obviously, she's given some more information, but I still don't think that's enough. I think that's the tip of the iceberg, and she's still being, not told everything on purpose. And I don't understand what the whole like grand scheme is, because we saw in the second episode there is some sort of council involving Sharp and Lance Reddick's character, and there's something going on that's deeper, and we need to know what it is. It's like the council of like they said there was 10 megacorps, right?
I don't know if it was.
She said there was like 10 or something. They top 10 richest companies.
I thought it was like 6.
Maybe there's 6. Maybe those are the companies and we just didn't know them, and we're going to learn them throughout the series. And each one has a part to play, almost like a la Fallout, where each Fallout company had like a massive stake in like money. Does that make sense? Kind of, because these massive corps are ahead of the laws, just like how in kind of Fallout they were.
I think there's just in all the information they have so far, there's just ties to all of those people.
I'm just gonna blame the Vatican, dude.
That's crazy.
They're speaking Latin. It tracks.
Yeah, why are they speaking Latin?
I mean, if cartels and the government's involved, religious organizations at a high level are absolutely involved in this too. Anyone in power is involved, is what the vibe.
Dude, is this just Assassin's Creed?
This is just Assassin's Creed. Oh no. Stop.
Abstergo. Massive Dynamics, Abstergo. They're pretty much the same company.
We're devolving.
We are. It's fun to devolve sometimes. One thing I want to also bring up is the surgery was crazy, because it literally was drill into his brain and shock his brain, and as a result, we're going to turn his auditory stimulations into.
Was it shocks? I felt like he was placing like magnets around so that they could move
they were
material
shocking
inside the brain.
That's why they said 200 and like that. That was the shocking.
Gauze
is you're right. Gauze is a magnet. So they were magnetizing his brain.
Yeah, because they were moving it from cortex to cortex.
You're right. So they were moving it from the visual.
They were adjusting the dish.
Honestly,
that's literally what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's why he was like. That's why he said you can get a satellite if you want.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I didn't realize you guys didn't.
No, I knew it does. That's not. It's not like a physical dish. That's a great analogy for what they did.
They're tuning it.
I like how he's kind of helped this guy too by doing so by proxy. But I mean, like
they
didn't tell him what he's doing, and then they're like, "We have to do this while you're awake, by the way, because we need you to tell us what's going on."
I feel like that's a lot of brain surgeries.
Yeah,
they do a lot of brain surgeries while you're awake, I guess.
Yeah, they have musicians.
I'm no expert.
Like play music because when they stop playing it right, they know they touched the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. It's a whole thing. I read all about it.
I watched enough Grey's Anatomy. I'm an expert on this.
I got it from online, not Grey's Anatomy.
That's interesting. The same thing. That's interesting.
I don't like that. I wonder. No words for that.
What do you mean? Grey's Anatomy's great.
Okay.
Also, one thing to bring up too is Peter past kind of coming back to him a little bit. The guy who was taking pictures of him, following him around. I wonder
Peter's past.
Wonder what he's deep into. I wonder what happened. Gambling debts or drug cartel stuff.
Well, he made a reference to like an organization, but he was brazen enough to be like, "Don't send anyone after me." I feel like if it was like a cartel or a mob, like. What's the point of telling them that? Like, it's got to be like some sort of organization.
Dad's partner went on to form Abstergo, and the son clearly got involved with the assassins.
What if it's just a bunch of clones? Like, there's like 6 of him, and they had like an organization. No, it's not.
And they replaced in one episode?
7 twin brothers.
Oh my god.
I don't actually think that's the thing.
Now you're devolving.
I am.
Just get a dartboard. Start throwing.
Honestly, so many theories. I just absolutely love. I mean, I have to say, 3 episodes in, my favorite character is by far Walter, because he just has these moments and both moments of lucidity and insanity that are both great, and it's just so much fun to watch him and his facial reactions to things. Like they were like, "We have to do the surgery," and he's like, with consent, obviously, and he kind of like happily twitched because the thought of idea of doing this consensually, I guess, made him happy because he's a scientist, so he likes to do
no,
like
because he just got yelled at for unconsensually doing things to people.
I know. That's basically he's going within the law now, and he's like, I can do this within the law now, yay! Even though it's my fault this happened in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like him as a character. I think he's
insane.
Obviously smart, but he's funny, and it's like an interesting breakup in what can be some real serious and anxious scenes that have been in this show, or just gross ones. No eyeballs this time, thank God. I could deal with some hand cuts, but not eyeballs popping out.
And I like how they kind of bait and switched us with the relationship. We really thought the agents were in a relationship just like she was, just like how she thought it.
Yeah.
But in reality, it was the hand cut, which is crazy. How did nobody realize what happened and like ask questions?
Oh, like no one checked her hands after.
Yeah, there's blood everywhere.
Because Fringe.
There's not blood everywhere.
I mean, there should have been.
He's been dead.
Burying her.
Yeah, no, they don't do that right away.
Buried. She was being autopsied.
Doesn't that happen at like a funeral home? That doesn't even happen at the hospital,
Yeah.
does it?
Yeah, funeral home.
I just hope that they maintain Walter's character, because right now it's being written really well with his flip flops, and obviously at some point he has to like become more lucid, right? As part just a form of character development. And like I hope that they manage to retain like how likable he is in his insanity when he stops being as insane.
The innocence is really what makes the insanity palatable. You know, he's just like a cute old man who's also a psychopath. But if he were to be a more serious character, I feel like I would have a lot of comments on how terrible he is, and like he should be in jail.
I feel like that's how they're going to develop the father-son relationship, is like as he's going to start to forgive him while he's like an old, like crazy old man, and then he's going to like his brain's going to start working again. And he's like, oh right, this is why I hate.
I mean, he's clearly a sociopath.
And
I mean,
it's crazy.
Clearly,
he's a scientist who's focused on the work over the ethics.
Yeah.
And I will say for the actor himself, I don't think I can watch Lord of the Rings the same way anymore and see him as like Lord Denethor.
He's crazy in that too.
I know, but I'm going to see him as like.
I don't even know what character they're talking
about. I never liked
I
never liked him because of how he acts as that character. But like the craziness and the stuff in this character is probably good. Every time I watch that movie now, I'm gonna be like,
great actor.
I'm like, yeah, Walter, crazy Walter.
All right, that was a good episode.
That was a fun one.
That's derailed enough. We're good.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mikey.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Mike.
The 732 Review Crew. If you do enjoy our Fringe reactions, check out our Patreon for full downs of this and other series. Support does go a long way. If you haven't also subscribed to us yet, and you're watching us and you enjoy us, make sure you do, because it does go a long way. The help is very, very, very important to help tell where a lot of our subscribers come from, what they watch. Now, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Smash that like button, motherfucker.
Leave that in.
Hi, guys.
Leave that in.
2